Hello, hello, welcome. We bid you welcome, you who come with weary spirits seeking rest. We bid you welcome, you who come with troubles that are too much. You who come hurt and afraid and anxious. We bid you welcome, you who come with hope in your heart. We bid you welcome, you who come with anticipation in your step, who come proud and joyous. We bid you welcome. You who are seekers, we bid you welcome. You who come to explore and to learn, we bid you welcome. You who enter this hall as a homecoming, you who have found here room in your spirit, you whoever you are, whatever you are, wherever you come from, whatever your theology, whoever you love, we bid you welcome here at Fountain Street Church. Welcome, beloveds. Today is Wednesday evening, and we have this grounding experience where we explore the topics that we talked about on Sunday, and we think about the practices of how can we practice what we learned on Sunday. So we are here to do that, to continue that exploration, the practices that lead to the flourishing of the life force within us. On Sunday, during the sermon, we talked about this idea that there is a life force, a creativity of the cosmos that created the world and continues to create through us. Now, for some of us, that expression, that life force, comes forth easily, and some of us have to chase it everywhere, have to look for it, have to engage with it. So again, that's what we're here for. We are so glad that you have joined us. And with me today is Robin Connell and the piano. We're so happy that Robin is here, and a beloved of ours, Ken Porter. So thank you both for being here. Ken, would you mind introducing yourself so other people know who you are?
Sure. Where do I start? I have, I guess I'll kind of introduce myself in the context of what we're talking about tonight, which is El Duende, and my own personal journey around finding my authentic voice has been a long one. There was a lot of healing that needed to happen along the way, and still does. And ultimately, my own healing journey led me to want to start giving back. And so I ultimately landed on my current profession as a somatic therapist. And that's what I've been practicing for the last 20 years. And it absolutely fulfills me, and it's you mentioned on Sunday, this is when you are living from your duende, you would do it for free, or you would pay to do it, and that's kind of how it feels to me. It's just it's something that I absolutely enjoy and am nourished by. So I've been a fountain streeter for probably 35 years, and officially joined the church about, 5 years ago, as the church started evolving into more of what was actually feeding my soul. And I'm really excited about the direction that it continues to go.
Thank you. Thank you for all of that. I think I want to start making introductions. I want all of us to introduce ourselves through the stories of our duendes, through the struggles of our duendes, the journeys, because my journey is different from my duende's journey in a way. And we're calling it duende. Some people call it soul. Some people call it spirit that moved through us. Some people call it authenticity. But you said finding your voice, and I think ultimately, that is a really good way of putting it, because, so for me, it was literally finding my voice. I was saying to a few people that at some point I tried to raise my hands at PTA meetings, and my voice will not come out. That's how lost I was, how I had lost my voice. But for some people, like Robin is singing, and for some other people it has nothing to do with voice, but finding your, so I've seen painters, for example, artists, speak of finding their voice, and what they mean is their style, what they mean is their medium, you know. So I like that idea, but I feel like finding our voice kind of describes, in a way, what we're talking about here.
Yeah, I agree, and I like, you know, what you're saying, that voice is not just the sound that comes out of your mouth, but it's how you express yourself in every possible way.
Self-expression, indeed. It's self-expression. So how do we go about finding our voice? How do we go about expressing this life force, liberating this life force that moves through us? And I brought a few prompts for us to talk about how these things have showed up in our lives. So the first one is this idea of what Reverend Matthew was talking about, being an archaeologist of the soul. I read a quote from Elizabeth Gilbert, who says that she believes that all of us have treasures buried inside of us, and that the universe plays this game, that it buries these treasures in us, and then the universe stands back for fun to see if we can find them. I don't think it's very fun, but thank you. But how do we go about this work of being archaeologists of the soul? How do we go within to find these treasures? I'll ask Ken in a minute, what was his journey like? For me, so much of it had to do with quieting the mind, the things I had to do, the things I should do. Every time a should comes up, it's a warning, versus the things that truly my soul wants to do, the things that, again, I would pay to do, because it's life-giving. So quieting the mind is one of those. Journaling, asking, having this dialogue and this conversation with your duende has been very helpful to me and to others. A book that I found 20 years ago, maybe 25 years ago, is The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. That is not just for artists, but it's this idea of engaging in relationship with this other side of ourselves, our soul, our spirit, something that is a longing. Find the source of that longing, talk to that longing, and see what is asking you to do. So that is a couple of the practices: quieting the mind in whichever way you can do that, and journaling to see what is that longing within. Ken, do you have anything to add?
I think absolutely it's imperative to quiet the mind. And the way I see it, the mind, like the part of the mind that needs quieting, is the part of the mind that has developed to protect us, especially when we're young and our voice, our soul, our duende is getting trampled on. Is not being given permission to come out, and that can happen in any number of ways. We have to manage that pretty ferociously, you know, internally. Like, we've got this fire inside of us that just wants to erupt, and it's not allowed. And so, what do? You gotta do something. You gotta squash it. And that can happen it does happen on a physical level and on a mental level, in terms of physically just kind of tensing yourself, you know, maybe restricting your breath. But on a mental level, you know, okay, I don't really want this. I want that instead. Okay, I'm going to make this work. And it gets really noisy in here when we have to keep, you know, steering away from this and into what, you know, somebody else wants from us.
It's interesting to me because, so the voices out there are so loud, right? And because we talked on Sunday about that we have this need for authenticity and we have this need for connection and belonging. And so the voices on this side for this is the right way. I mean, so we are in a religious setting here. That alone, so many of us have religious traumas because we have been told this is the way, this is the only way, this is the right way, this is the best way. Any other way is wrong, is sinful, it is all this. These voices are so loud. And then I want to say that while this side is also, has become shy, I also feel like this longing to be ourselves, like sometimes the voice inside, it becomes so loud in a way that I felt it was waking me up at night. Mm-hmm. And we're using voice and loud and all of this in poetic terms, right? It's not waking me up, but it was there was something within me that was calling to me that was also very loud. So it's interesting. Two things can be true, right? So in a way, the voice of the soul is shy, and in other ways can be very loud too, disturbing us, and it will not let us rest. So Parker Palmer, we were talking a lot about his work on Sunday. One of the things he was saying is that we numb that side, that longing, because it's an ache. It's this ache to be ourselves, to do the work we came here to do. It's an ache and this longing. We numb it by our sedative of choice. So he's like social media, TV, alcohol, you name it. There's all kinds of sedatives for us to put aside for us to quiet the voice of the duende, of the true self that is trying to speak to us.
Yeah, there's plenty of sedatives available, and yeah, I mean there's plenty of pain that gets evoked when you have this internal battle going on, between this force that just wants to come out and all of the external forces not letting it, and I also want to just speak to the fear that's involved, right? Because, and you touched on this also on Sunday, the huge importance to us, especially when we're really young, of attachment and belonging. Because especially when we're infants, we will actually die without attachment. I mean, if we don't have somebody there because we're completely helpless to attend to our needs and take care of us, we'll literally die. And, even though our mind isn't able to conceptualize that at that early stage, we know it on some very deep level that, okay, my life is in danger. The person who takes care of me just disappeared. What am I going to do? And so the impulse to placate whoever it is, your primary caregivers or your church or your community, in order to continue to belong, that has such a strong fear base of, if I don't do this, I'm not going to survive.
And and we really have been talking so much about this other side, right? But they both go together. I'm not saying choose this over this. It's impossible. The reason why, right? And then I was talking about the neuroplasticity before, and I talked about Velcro, how the brain is like Velcro for negative experiences. I'm like, forget it. You have one negative comment, and that's all you think about and you ignore all the rest. So I'm interested too in attachment. I'm interested in both. I think a healthy human being should have both, right? Which is what I said, in the perfect world, and we're not in a perfect world, but we can work towards it, we can speak about it, which is what we're doing. So when my daughter was born, there was this movement, and I think it's still around, of attachment parenting. So this idea that if the children feel bonded and attached when they're very young, they grow up to be able, they don't have to sacrifice their authenticity for belonging. But then there is this other movement now, Ken, happening, which is attachment in relationships, that is promoting that people, friendships, couples, all kinds of relationships, where you work on this attachment so that the person knows you can do no wrong, you can be yourself and I will still love you. So where people feel secure in relationships in order to be able to do this other work of authenticity, because again, until we have some of that at some level, we can fully flourish on the other side. The other piece I wanted to talk about that you remind me of, and that all of that bottled up inside causes all kinds of havoc in our nervous system, in our health, and I know that you know, is a Gabor Mate, right? Can you talk to us a little bit about that, of what he's talking about, how all of these bottled up inside become illnesses?
Yeah, absolutely. Coming back to that idea of fear and holding this down, I mean, well, first of all, let me just say that every emotion that we experience, it shows up in our body. It shows up in our body as both a sensation and an impulse to move or to act in some way. And there's a very good reason for that, because our emotions, actually, if you go back to the Latin root of the word, emotion means to move out. And that's what it's trying to do. And it's trying to impel us to get our needs met. So if something's not working, we're not getting our need met, and let's say we're very hungry and we're starving, we might feel fear as an emotion, which is going to motivate us to go get some food. And if we're in danger, we're going to feel fear, which is going to motivate us to run away or to fight to protect ourselves. If we're in like a satisfying, nurturing experience, we're going to feel joy, which is going to motivate us to open to the experience, to embrace, to move towards. So emotions are so crucial, and they show up in the body because the body needs to be in on, like, okay, let's go do this. Let's take this action. Let's get this thing done so I can get this need met. When you are faced with this dilemma of, okay, I've got this flame inside of me that is my soul's work, and then I have this external message saying, no, you can't do that. Then these emotions that keep coming up that want to impel me to do my soul's work, they keep getting stopped. So they keep coming into the body and creating these sensations and creating these impulses in the body. Let's go. And we keep stopping it. That is my sense of where, at least a big part of where illnesses come from that are based in emotion. It's crucial to do this kind of work.
I was thinking, I'm working on my sermon for Sunday for Star Wars, and it really is about something about the secrets of becoming a real life Jedi, right? So basically, Jedis were able to harness the force that was moving through them, this life force that was moving through them. Mm-hmm. And one of the many ways they did that was controlling the breath. Mm-hmm. So what you were talking was, so this is what I'm talking, a little bit of what I'm talking about on Sunday, is this understanding that how we feel affects our body. So if we feel nervous, our heart starts racing. If we feel relaxed, our heartbeat slows and our breathing slows down. Now, the same is true the opposite way. If our body is in a certain way, our feelings, it also affects our feelings. So for example, there is research about this forever, that if you put a pencil against your mouth, right? And then you put the pencil between your teeth. The corners of your mouth go up, and then these muscles up here get activated, and that signals to the brain that you're happy, and then right away you start feeling happy, because it's like, oh, your physiology also affects the way you feel. But similarly, I have been working a lot on my breathing, and how if I slow down my breathing enough, it signals to my brain and to my nervous system that I am at peace, because when a regular person breathes, I don't know, 12, 14 breaths per second, I'm trying to slow it down to 4. So similarly, again, there are hacks or tricks, or I don't want to call them hacks, it's just tools that Buddhism has given us, right? I say that Buddha was the greatest psychologist there ever was. There is all these tools that ancient religions practice, philosophies such as Buddhism have taught us, and now science have been able to show just how effective this is. So that again, there's I love the words you're using. You're also using fire. It is a fire burning inside of us. It is a fire. Sometimes it feels like heat. And the Hindus and yogis talk about Kundalini too, right? There is this energy that is trying to move through us. I didn't have time on Sunday to speak about all this, but if you trace it back, almost so many religions have some idea of an energy that moves through us. But I like the Kundalini version of this, how it's like fire. So we're going to take a little break. I hope maybe Robin can play something for us, and we will be back to continue more about the practices that leads to the flourishing of our duendes.
I'm going to play a song published in 1966 by Sergio Mendes. And of course it was written in Portuguese, but I'm singing it in English so that you can understand what it's about, or because I can't sing in Portuguese, or maybe some of both. But this is one of the first songs I ever learned, and as a performer, and it's a song that's full of questions. So when I was thinking about what to play today, and the concept of duende, one thing that came to mind for me was how these questions in the song that really moved me when I was 18 years old, they're still there. They're still unanswered. Or at least some of the questions were answered, but new questions replaced them. So see what you think about these questions. The dawn is filled with dreams, so many dreams. Which one is mine? One must be right for me. Which dream of all the dreams, when there's a dream for every star? And there are oh so many stars, so many stars. The wind is filled with songs, so many songs. Which one is mine? One must be right for me. Which song of all the dreams, when there's a song for every star? And there are oh so many stars, so many stars. Alone the countless days, the endless nights that I have searched, so many eyes, so many hearts, so many smiles. Which one to choose, which way to go? How can I tell? How will I know? Out of oh so many stars. to choose which way to go. How can I tell? How will I know? Out of so many stars, so many stars. So many stars.
I adore Sergio Mendes. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm thinking about dreams. That song made me think about dreams. And I was hearing, so just so you know, Ken and I, when we first met over the summer, and I told him about Duende, Ken was interested in this too, and I think we share a common dream. And then hearing you speak now of your Duende work, meaning of how you do it because you must, because you have to pay it forward, because you love it, all of that. But so I'm similarly, I am thinking of, I dream of a world where duendes are free. What I mean is that I heard once that what breaks your heart, that should be your work in a way. What makes you cry. So one of the things that breaks my heart the most in this world is all the lost souls I have seen, all the withered souls I have seen, the withered life force that I know that with the proper care, with the proper theologies, with the proper encouragement can flourish. That life force inside of people versus being withered, versus illnesses, versus fear and trauma. So I truly dream of a world where we encourage this from our children, where we encourage this from one another. I am invested in the flourishing of your duende. Is that we have that because it's your life force. It is sacred. It moves through you. And I want to invest and I want to support it and I want to do everything I can to support that. So that is my dream of a world. I don't know if you have something to add to that.
Well, my duende has something to add to that. As you're talking about the withered souls, and I mean, like I just feel this grief. I feel it right here, and yeah, that's a big part of. I don't know how you said it, but what makes you cry? You know, I mean, yeah, this is a big part of my work. Is like feeling the pain, really the pain of the world, and it's my pain. I know it from the inside out, and I recognize it when I see it in other people, and there's a strong resonance, both to know what that pain of withering feels like, and to know the joy on the other side, and to know what it's like, you know, much of the time being kind of straddling both worlds.
So what do we do? How do we practice this? How do we So here's the other thing about this. This is community work, right? Is what I'm saying. I can do the digging on my own. We can engage in digging, we can work with our fears, because so much of this is fear of rejection, right? Yeah. We can do a lot on our own, but it's also community work, a place where you feel that you can come to for that flourishing of that life force without being judged and criticized, advised, told this is the better way. There's a beautiful, I'm not gonna remember it, but there's a quote, I can't even remember the who said it, but it says that people are as beautiful as sunsets if you just let them be. You don't tell the sunset, can you just tone down the pink a little bit on the right, left corner? You don't say that, you just accept them fully as they are. And this is why I feel like part of this community work is accepting who we are, because we have not been accepted, so many of us have not been accepted for so long. We will be wrapping up soon, Ken, but I wonder if there is anything from your work. I don't do your work. I do more of the work of the soul, but you do more of the work of the body and liberating that. Is there anything you would like to come and to bring forth, to give to us from your duende?
One thing I would like to say is that you talked about neuroplasticity, and that neuroplasticity requires experience. Like neuroplasticity is not only a hard thing to say. It's not just like a mental concept or a mental decision, like, hey, I'm going to change the way that I feel and change the way that I think. In order for neuroplasticity to happen, you actually have to have an experience that replaces the old habit or the old pattern. And so that's why working with the body in some way is so important. And that's why working in relationship is so important, because that's an experience. When I'm in a relationship with you and something happens that deepens our connection, that's an experience. And if I'm connected to my body and something happens that's a new, like it's a new pattern, and I feel it in my body, that's an experience. So I don't know if we have time to do like a quick guided meditation, or
that would be amazing. But I wanted to mention, so this is the thing about, right, the thing about church sometimes, right, is that we hear a message on Sunday morning and it all stays here, and we never get to apply it, we never get to live it, we never get to experience it, right? So neuroplasticity, one of the many, that it was a 2-service last month, but it's practice, it's practice, it's practice. So this idea, so for doing the work or for anything that you really want to do in your life, is this idea of effort and grace, right, that I talked about. Effort and grace, so it takes practice and practice and practice. Eventually it becomes second nature. Again, at some point in my life, I couldn't even speak a few sentences without tripping over my words, but practice and practice and practice and practice, you get to a place where you are able to do that. So when your shy duende at first begins to come out, it may be a little clumsy, it may come out the wrong way, it may hit other people in different ways. I remember the poet Mary Oliver reading, I read once, she said that by the time her first poem was ever published, she had written enough pages to go from here to the moon and back, something like that, right? It's that much of, but you do it because you love it, right? But so it is practicing it, and it is this commitment, this setting a time for us to do this practice of doing the work. I'm thinking we're gonna hear a little bit more music, and then we come back for the meditation, if that's okay.
That's great.
Yes, music, please.
Songs were made to sing while we're young. Every day is spring while we're young. None can refuse. Time flies so fast. Too dear to lose and too sweet to last, though it may be just for today. Share our love, we must, while we may. So blue the skies, all sweet surprise, shines before our eyes while we're young. So blue the skies, all sweet surprise,
Love it.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I would like to lead a little guided meditation to just help us all connect with our physical presence, which is so vital as a starting point for really doing any of this kind of work. So I would invite you wherever you are, if you're sitting, if you're lying down, if you're standing, to just close your eyes, or at least soft focus your eyes. And first of all, just feel the weight of your body just sinking down into the chair, the couch cushion, the carpet, the floor, the ground. Just feel how your whole body weight just transfers itself down into whatever surfaces you're resting on. Invite your body to start to relax. And bring your awareness to your breath, especially to your belly. Really let yourself breathe from your diaphragm. And just for at least the first few breaths, just slow it down. Just intentionally take some nice deep breaths. Just feeling your belly fill up, and then feeling your chest fill up. And then feeling them both empty. Feeling them inflate. Feeling them deflate. And really noticing that as you do this, as you draw the breath in and fill up your torso, that you'll feel a building up of pressure in your torso. And then as you let the breath go and your breath starts to exhale, you feel that pressure start to decrease. So all the way through the cycle of in-breath and out-breath, there's a constantly changing, steady physical sensation that you can track that can help you stay present. The mind can get bored and restless pretty quickly if something seems stagnant, but it's never stagnant when you pay attention inside. So just allow this ever-changing sense of pressure building and pressure releasing to keep you present in your torso as you breathe. And then to the extent that you can, just start to feel your own presence. And that can come in any possible form. You may feel it as warmth, you may feel it as coolness, you may feel your heartbeat. And then if you can go deep enough inside, at some point you may notice that there is some kind of an energetic hum, an energetic vibration. I call it presence. A lot of people call it presence. It's something you can actually palpate. You can actually sense in your body. Sometimes it's loud and noticeable. Most of the time, it's pretty subtle. So just keep letting your breath bring you back into your body, back into your body, back into your body. And just keep noticing, listening for that sense of presence coursing through your entire body. And one last thing I want to bring attention to is to have you notice what kind of emotion you may be feeling right now in this moment. There's no wrong answer to this. Just noticing if it's joy, if it's pain, if it's anger, if it's hope. And once you start to get a sense of what you're feeling emotionally, locate that emotion in your body. If it's anger, you might feel a heat in your chest or a tightness in your jaw. If it's relief, you might feel a relaxation in your shoulders. If it's sadness, you might feel a pressure in your chest, a lump in your throat. And just let yourself feel it. No need to fix it, no need to figure it out, no need to solve it. Just feel it, embrace it, love it. And just let yourself hold this, almost like you're cradling a baby. Nothing to do, just holding it. And then just however this works for you, finding some way to thank whatever showed up and whatever presented itself to you. And then just gradually opening your eyes, starting to softly bring your focus back out into the space around you. Taking another deep breath. Thank you. Thank you for sharing this with me.
Thank you, Ken. I feel like no words. Like after, that's how you quiet, right? That's how you. And dear beloveds, we're going to close in a second, but I want to say this to you. This is available to you at any time. This place within, we have control over our breathing, over our awareness. We can come inward and find refuge in there at any time. These are such hard times. All of us are feeling, we're feeling alone, disconnected, stressed, worried. We are so anxious. An existential sadness of sort so many of us are feeling. But I want you to know that this is available. This is available at any time. We can come within and find love and acceptance and peace and calm. May you go there often. We have that much power. It is up to us. I hope you take advantage of that. We love you. Thank you for being with us today, and enjoy the rest of the evening and this beautiful music from Robin. Thank you again for being here with us.
Thank you.